quartering. Quartering will be on the practical as well as the trout.
As well as the what?
Trout.
As well as that's it.
Trout.
Is that everything?
And that's it.
Now you're gonna have an emulsified sauce to make. And which one? The cold one. You will have the test, and Chef John will go through with you.
Would you take this here or downstairs?
Downstairs, some kitchen that we took the other test as well. All right, now one thing that you have to remember is wishbone. Back. That's down. Now, cut the skin right on the top of the bone. It's not very sharp. Now, and you see this as your two oysters right here. You can see it's a little bit of the meat right here. You see those bones here? This is approximately the center. You can see that your legs are here. This is the two oysters. Okay? So cut that up and you can make a mark here as well. Now you remove the legs first because it gets in the way. Just cut the skin all the way down and see the little the little silver skin on the side here. This has to be cut just like this. This way you can easily. Now with your tip of the boning knife, you will lift your oysters out of the little socket there, and with my thumb I let you move it out completely. You see? Right there. Now you can hold on to the bone and pull. Now sometimes you may have to follow through. So hold on to the bone. That's one. Same thing on the other side. Cut the skin, make sure you keep the skin on both the legs and the breast. You see how I use my finger to help me out? A little cut here, chef. You push down here, lift here, push down, and just take the bone out of the socket. Same thing, your oysters in the middle of the back, with a cut of a knife right here, and you just remove it. Now you hold on to this, and you can pull. Sometimes it's not gonna come. I'm gonna rip it here. That's what gets in the way. So
all you really want to do is sever the tendons that are connecting the ball joint.
sometimes your cartilage here is a little bit harder. So just cut a little bit more. You will be easier for you. Now you will lift this and cut it here.
What part of that is?
So you cut the rib cage pretty much right here. Now on both sides of the neck, put your knife all the way through and on an angle, and you crush down. You do the same thing on the other side. Now you can put them on the bias because this way you get left to cut. You don't have to cut the whole. But stay here, put them here. Okay. Now what's important here is the cartilage in the middle here. Now you see the bones underneath? If you cut into the cartilage too deep and hit the bone, when you try to split it, you won't be able to because you're trying to split the bone with because the bone gets sore. So you want to cut and stay right on the top. You can feel. You don't want to put too much pressure. And with the tip of the knife, follow through because that's the skin of it. Now I'm going to push the back and pull. So a lot of the skin got to cut and make everything come nice and easy. Now, my finger here and hold on to the comes. Now you want to cut in the middle on one side of the cartilage that's still left there, and cut the other side of the cartilage to remove it. Just like this. Now what you need is the Manchonnet O4. You only Manchonnet the meat that you quarter, and this bone you don't need it now. You see on the reason we keep it for the trusted chicken is because we need the bone to put it in between. And not everybody does that. I do that because it's the way I was taught. But some people just take it off completely and put it right into here. That's not the right way, but that's okay because you're gonna remove it afterwards. You know? But I like to keep it on because it's supposed to be there. But eventually I will take them out. So right into the muscles, the joint. Cut around the tip of the bones. And you can cook it like this and finish later, or you can actually cut the tip of the bones and just scrape it off. And as the rest of the meat cook, it will shrink neatly. And I think this is the best way to do it this way. You don't have to do that again. So don't be afraid at this point, just scrape it, scrape the bone. Put down there and just take.
So for the purpose of the exam, do you want us to just take
Do
it
this.
off?
We want you to motion exactly Chef's doing, yeah.
Do it like this. And you see, I always stay at the base of the cartilage just where my bones never break. Now, if you cut it too soon, right, you see what happened? It'll break. And it doesn't look good.
It's in the back.
Did I get you?
Oh. No.
Yeah, I did get you.
Yeah.
Look at that. Who got the bone?
Oh, I threw it out.
It went that way and the blood went over there. It usually doesn't happen.
I'll ditch the hat later.
Can we do it again?
No.
Let's hide first.
So, see, that's why you don't want to do that. You want to stay at, you see, the white is the cartilage, so clean the bone first. When you pull on the meat, you can see the base of the cartilage. And the reason why that shot is because I didn't cut through it, I used the back. Because I want to make sure that you see what happened with the bone then when it cracks. I didn't mean to do that. Now cut the meat around it, right to the bones. Then I will hold on to the bone, because if you pull like this and you don't hold the bone, you may pull the bone out of whack there. So just put this down. See, you can see, and you don't be afraid. Now you can see the base. The base is here. Usually, this is the best way. You got more control if you just. Also, if you miss it the wrong spot, you will
Take off your finger.
take. Well, not only that, you break the bone. You know. See, no, that's nice, clean cut. That's what you want.
So
And-
you
and
remember
it's-
from
and-
motioning that it's at the point where it hits the cartilage. A little bit above.
The same thing.
So we're leaving the rib cage in?
When you
Yeah,
order
when
chicken, you
when
always leave it in.
Cook it. You always leave it in.
Why?
And
Why
tabone,
do you
yeah,
leave it
but
in?
you want to loosen. Now you see here, it's been detached because I didn't want to do that on purpose, but you have to be careful of that. Because now that would be the same thing removing the bone. That means it's going to shrink in, and you're going to have the meat uneven. It's going to shrink and look very small. You want to stay attached. Even that I did it exactly how I wanted to, but if I were going to cook it, I would have paid more attention. You want that to stay attached here, because that would retain the meat and avoid the meat to shrink and look so small later on.
So just open it in the middle.
Just you will open in the middle, and that'll be it. Leave it attached in the tip, okay? And here, same thing.
So this is very important that you leave the rib cage on the breast. You leave that end attached on the thigh. Make an incision so you open it up so it cooks quicker, more evenly.
See what happens when you do it that way? You never, if you don't know where you're gonna break it, just don't do that. So you go at the base, you will hold your knife on one spot and you have a clean cut every time take a change and to break the bone like this. But that's not muscle meat. Now those little tendon that's sticking, I like to grab it and cut it as close as I can, but they also will shrink, contract in back into the meat. But if you can have access to it, just remove it. Okay? And the rest will be nice and thin. Questions?
What about the ribs?
It stays in. It stays in. It keeps the meat from drying out and also the meat from shrinking. And you quarter it. I mean, you will cut it into 8